Welcome to our Bachelor in Paradise Live. We are here to break down the biggest moments from episode 2. So, welcome back to our channel. Before we get into it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you're new. And we're going to be talking all about the drama between Genevieve and Justin and Sally's Suitcase. I'm your host, Zachary Reality, with Allison Van Dam. How are you doing, Allison?
I'm good. I feel like I haven't done a panel with you. I haven't done a live in so long. I was just at home. My sister got married, so maid of honor duties were calling, but I'm excited to be back with you. Feels like I never left.
I'm excited that it's just us today because I don't think we've done a panel like this in a while, and I already know that we're just gonna shade each other and shade the contestants, and it's just gonna get sassier than a regular panel.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay. Well, then let's get into it. Because last night was a lot. I feel like there's so many people. Like, there's literally like 9 guys, and then I think 12 or 13 girls. Like, there's people who aren't even getting screen time, and just like, I don't know, there's just so many people. Is there anyone you want to see get more screen time that hasn't?
I mean, it feels like there's already a lot of people and there's a lot of drama and emotion for so early on the
Mm-hmm.
season. And I think that's what we'll dive into more. But it's so clear there are people who appreciate that they're on, day 2 or 3, the Justins of the world who are saying, I want to explore options. I want us to go out and make sure we're really here for each other by going on dates with other people. And then you have the Genevieves of the world who are like, no, I need my one person from the beginning. I'm going to stick with them. Like, if you're not sure about me, then like, screw it. I'm going to go find someone else. And it just feels like we have these two camps of people who are constantly like battling each other in this point. And so I don't know. I mean, like, not Hunter. Haley's basically turned into a narrator at this point. She started out this episode just giving us the context, saying, we don't need any more girls, which I'm with you. I agree with you. I agree with Haley. I'm just like, wow, we really were just thrown into this from the beginning, and I'm already a little winded. I'm a little tired, if I'm being honest.
There's a lot of people, and I'm excited to get into Haley because I think she is hilarious. I think she said, we have enough girls. Can you bring more gays? Did she say that, or you don't remember?
I don't think she said gays. I'm pretty sure she was just saying we don't need
Oh,
any
I
more
thought.
girls. Let me pull it up. She
Okay.
said, says they don't need any more girls because 2 are already going home. That was kind of her statement.
Okay, I thought she said that we needed gays, and I got excited. I was like, we do need some gays on the beach to kind of spice things up because there really isn't like a lot of drama. It's just like a lot of like drawn out like emotion, I think, what we saw from this episode. But I'm excited for, I want some more drama. But let's talk about it from the beginning because Victoria Fuller arrived with a date card. What are we thinking she's going to bring to the season? And a lot of people remember her from Pilot Pete's season. She was pretty dramatic. She had that whole thing with Chase Rice. Are you excited to see her this season on the beach?
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, she is such an alumni. She's from Peter season. She dated Chris for a while, and her walking in gave me
True.
very similar energy to when Demi joined last season. It's a big name in Bachelor Nation, having been affiliated with multiple people, being a big presence online, and kind of being, this very bold woman, similar to Demi quality. She really says it like it is. She goes for who she wants. She like has this like take no prisoners approach, and so I was like, oh my gosh, it's like Demi 2.0. Like, this is Victoria's beach. And I was kind of excited because I'm like, it felt like everyone was from a younger, generation, or at least more recent shows. And so they're kind of all friends at that point. And you need that spice, you need that edge of someone who's coming in, knows what they're there for, and doesn't need to make any friends to really make it Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, I'm glad that we have another alumni because, Lace or Luce, it was just from so long ago. So, and then we also have Brittany, who is from Matt James's season. Everyone else is from Clayton's season. But I don't really think Victoria is going to be like a Demi because Demi was like involved in drama. She was like stealing people's mans. Like Victoria's kind of coming in and just playing it really chill. Like she didn't say much last night. It seemed like Genevieve was the one that was fighting with Justin, and she just kind of like looking cute and like pretty, and like that's really it. Like we didn't see her do anything crazy. But she did decide to take Justin on a date. She kind of came in there saying that she was looking to meet Justin, and this really frustrated Genevieve because she felt like she deserved a conversation before Justin left, and it kind of seemed like he was going to leave without talking to her, but then they ran into each other on the stairs. So, how did you think that interaction went down? Is it too early for Genevieve to be getting upset about this?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of what I teased earlier. It's these two different points of view that will always be in conflict to each other. You know, Justin is the one telling her, "I want to go out and explore other options so that we know when we come back together that we're clearly choosing each other. It's not just out of, necessity, it's because we want to be together." And then you have the Genevieves who are like, "No, stand by me. No, it's me." And it gives me kind of flashbacks to Clayton's overnight dates because Gabby was more so the one
Ooh.
saying, explore your options, know that I'm the one based on that exploration and still wanting me at the end. And it was more of probably the Rachel side that was like, no, I want you to know it's me from the get go. Or I guess you could even say the Susie side at that point. So it's just two different types of people that you find in Bachelor Nation. And unfortunately, when you're trying to figure out if there's a future between the two of you, you're going to have to get on the same page at some point. But I did appreciate Justin talking to her, even if it was just because they did run into each other on the stairs, pulling her aside, giving her the time of day, because I think it would have been a lot worse if he was just like, all right, bye. I'm going to pretend like we don't have a connection and just go on this date without providing any context.
What an analogy to bring it back to the Clayton, Susie, Gabby, Rachel love square. I was like, what is she going to say? Like, who is she talking about from
I am
Paradise
going to
last
teach
year?
a college course in Bachelor Nation, and we're going to have diagrams and references, and it's
Oh
going
my
to be an
God.
equation.
Okay, because I can't. That's so funny. But I think that you're right though. Like, and I actually tweeted last night. I was like, Genevieve and Justin just aren't compatible. Like, no one's wrong, no one's right. They're just not compatible. I'm personally more of the Genevieve. Like, I don't even care if you're not my man. I'm already claiming you. Okay, like I get really jealous. So I understand why she was a little frustrated. But also, like, the show just started. Like, he can't say no. Like, you got to keep your options open. So
Hmm.
he went on the date, and they went driving in like mud for a second. Did you notice that Victoria was driving? I guess because it was her date.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it, right? It's like, why does he have to be the driver? But it feels like we always have these very stereotypical, like, mud dates. Like, was it Hannah Brown's season where they went ATVing and she was wearing an all white outfit? And I was like, what are we doing here?
That's the point. They want to just get you dirty. They're just trying to make splashes. I think with Justin, we want to
Hmm.
see like him on a painting date because I think he's such a talented painter. Like it's so rare to have like a painter on reality TV. They need to have a painting competition reality show if they don't already on
Mm.
some network. And Justin is needs
Yes.
to be on it because like he's killing it. But we didn't even see them go on the dinner portion of the date. It kind of just the rest of the episode was kind of just like all the drama back at camp. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think happened? Did they just not talk about anything in depth, or it just didn't make the cut?
Yeah, well, I think also, I mean, obviously there was a lot going back on the beach, but I'm with you. Suddenly I forgot that they were still on their date, and then he came back to the beach. I was like, where have you been all this time? And I'm wondering if part of that is Wells Adams has said that ABC ordered, way more hours of
Phew.
footage this year, several more episodes than they've ever filmed
Phew.
before. And in that way, they could turn them into additional episodes. But based on the schedule you sent me, it's kind of still a tight schedule for this season. So that automatically means like a lot more is just going to end up on the cutting room floor. And so if they think, what's going on back in camp, whether it's Sally's suitcase or tears or something going on with crabs, if they think that's more entertaining, they're going to scrap like a very blase dinner portion and just say, whatever, it doesn't make the final cut. And maybe that's a sign that Victoria and Justin aren't going to end up together because if they were, an end game final couple, I think they probably would have included it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's definitely what I think as well. So we'll see what happens at the first rose ceremony because we'll talk about when Justin came back and stuff. But yeah, there is a lot of people on the beach and just not everything's getting shown. But the schedule for Bachelor in Paradise is that it's going to be on Monday and Tuesdays for the rest of the month. And then I think it's like November 1st or 2nd is like the finale. So we're really only gonna it's gonna be a lot
It's really
of quick
quick.
content, like 10 more episodes, but it's gonna be on 2 nights a week. So we got another episode tonight. But let's talk about some of the drama that was happening back on the beach and like some of the other couples. I think we could talk about Michael A and Sierra. They were having a deep connection. They were opening up to each other. What did you make of that conversation and connection?
I mean, I think it was very genuine and honest, and I was honestly proud of them, which is a weird thing to say of someone you don't really know. And just like, I admire the conversation because I think a lot of times in this franchise, you can get caught up in superficial conversations or what looks best on TV. And I mean, we've seen those conversations. Oh, I am a snail with my shell. Oh, I thought that was turtles. Oh, they have unicorns for the sea. Like, I'm sick and tired of those conversations. And instead, they're talking about what it means to lose a partner, to lose your wife, to become a single parent. And I'm like, these are the conversations that people should be having, regardless of what their, situations are, regardless of if they're single parents. If you're going to get engaged to someone in a matter of, 3 weeks, I would hope that you're having these
Three
deeper
days.
conversations. So, exactly, I think it behooves them to talk about things on a deeper level. Now, do I think Sierra and
Behooves.
Michael A are going to end up together? No, I see more of like a really good, mature friendship. And I also think it's hard for us to kind of fall for their relationship when we've also seen, Michael A with someone from Bachelor Nation while attending Wells Adams and Sarah Hyland's wedding, and she wasn't Sierra. So it's kind of hard to, run with the Sierra of it all when we know who he ended up with.
I mean, from what I'm finding, it's kind of hard to run with anything just because it really seems like everyone in the Bachelor community on every social platform just knows everything that happened, and the contestants are tweeting so much more realistic things than they ever have before. Like, and the trailer obviously just gives it all away too sometimes, but I do think that they have like a solid foundation, and we'll see what happens. I mean, Sierra's gorgeous. She's so pretty, and she's been really supportive with Michael. Like, she's been really there for him because obviously it was probably hard for him to leave his son again. So I'll be interested to see what happens when they break up, if they break up. I think we're all assuming they will. But let's talk about another couple, Logan and Shanae. This is my
Ooh.
dream couple. Do you like them?
I was pleasantly surprised by them because you have Shanae who clearly got a very certain edit on her season. Shrimp Gate, all the girls didn't like her. Shanae, she was crazy. We saw Shanae versus Genevieve after the final rose, and it was just chaos. But then we also saw Logan, who maybe also didn't get the best edit. He was choosing between two women. Now his intro is choosing between two drinks. And so it could have either been absolute chaos or it could work super well. And it ended up just working super well. And I really appreciated, honestly, Logan, of how highly he spoke about Shanae, understanding that she didn't have the best, reputation and was surrounding herself by girls who really didn't like her. He commented on the strength that she had to put herself back in that situation. And I really enjoyed watching their date, honestly. And for two people who really stirred the pot or brought up a lot of chaos, it seemed like a really grounded, down to earth interaction, honestly.
I'm obsessed with them. Like, this is my favorite couple. Like, they need to get engaged at the end of this because I'm shipping it, and we're going to the wedding because that will be a crazy, crazy time. I think that their date seemed casual and like fun, and they were just like eating, and then they were at the club. So we'll see what happens with them. Obviously, we all saw the trailer at the end of the episode. It seems like Shanae might be going on a double date next week with James. And Logan also has a lot of girls on the beach that are interested in him. I mean, it started with Luce, and now Haley, this episode, she's really been trying to make some moves on Logan. She felt a spark. Haley kind of also became the voice of reason this season. I mean, this episode, but not even that. Like, she just like would not get off the TV screen. Like, it was just like she
Yeah.
was more than she was the whole episode, and it's just like, why? Like, she was hilarious, but it was just made no sense why they only aired her for like 30 minutes straight.
I don't know, but she truly was there from beginning to end, narrating, giving us the drama, the conversation with Logan, trying to shoot her shot. Like, she was everywhere. She was a constant part of almost every part of the episode, other than the
Every part.
actual one on one dates. Yeah.
They should have just put her there to narrate it. Like, honestly, I was dying, and like I was tweeting some funny things about her, but I want to see her as the next Bachelorette because she's so funny.
If not the next Bachelorette, if Jesse Palmer ever needs a day off, I think we just throw her in.
Are you here for her though? Like, I'm so here for her.
I mean, I think she has a lot more to give us, honestly, and I think that's like her and like the grocery store Joes who go home night one, we really bring to the beach, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I was like, wow, she is great TV.
She's so funny. I just don't think there's a guy there for her because it seems like the only one she's into is Logan, who probably doesn't even know her name. Like, I was waiting for
Mm-hmm.
him to call her, like, Holly or just anything because we all know Lace and Loose. But I guess it didn't seem to work out. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say she's going to go home at the first rose ceremony. It doesn't seem like she has a connection. So maybe that's why they're giving her so much airtime. But I hope they maybe bring her
Mm,
back next year at least for Paradise. Just because, like, she does have a lot to give.
totally.
And she was also bonding with like Genevieve the whole episode since she was also feeling like, upset that not Aaron, that Justin was gone. Um,
Yeah.
would you like to, what do you want to see from Genevieve and Haley's friendship? Like, were they like trauma bonding?
It feels like that. I want a little more confidence, and it's hard for me to say that because I've not been part of these I don't know. I've never been on the beach, and it must be,
Process, the journey.
exactly, like it's hard to not know, are you going home? Are you going to stay? And I just would like love for them to just have the confidence, say, whatever happens happens, and maybe not cry as much. I don't know. We shared news hosts have a group chat. We've been talking about how many tears there have already been this season, and it feels like a lot, if I'm being honest.
There's a lot of tears and a lot of unnecessary, weird. I don't even know what we want to call this Sally Suitcase saga because it wasn't drama.
Oh,
It was just like random. Are you ready to get into
I
it?
would call it story time.
The Sally story time. So Sally's suitcase was shipped to Paradise early. It was like this dark suitcase. I couldn't find a picture of it online. Like I was looking, there it is. I was looking for it everywhere. Okay, because I wanted to like do something with it. But the duct tape is killing me with the way they wrote her name. So that's why a lot of people are thinking maybe this isn't Sally's suitcase because when it got there early to Paradise, a couple of the girls decided to go through it, like Genevieve and Lace, and who was the other girl that went through it? Who is that?
Well, Lace was the one who found it, went back to
Jill.
the beach and like made it super dramatic. Yeah, I think Joe was part of the group, and then Lace kind of led them all back up. But I think Genevieve was one of the main girls to unzip it and go through it. She commented on the waffle iron and then said that they
Hmm.
gave her and her fiance, as like a wedding present, I guess, which again, I had so many questions about this whole thing because I'm like, Sally's not bringing a waffle iron to a beach. You know what I mean? And I honestly found it kind of a violation of privacy for them to go through it, for them to take out the waffle iron, take out the vibrator, ruin her extensions. I mean, they were like bringing the vibrator to the bar for goodness sake. Like, I'm like, this is
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much. Like, would any of you want someone to go through your suitcase before you got there and put it on national television? Probably not. And I feel like, Zach, you've made some comments that maybe you know a little bit more about the situation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely not her vibrator. Can assure you that. Definitely not her waffle maker. Might be her extensions. I don't know for a fact if I know they took her suitcase. I know the producer flew to her house, took her suitcase, and I don't know if they just added things to the suitcase or they just had
Mm-hmm.
a fake suitcase. But I know that the reason the producers took the suitcase, and it was kind of explained by Wells, is because Sally is a little bit flaky. She went to Clayton season, she agreed to do it, and then she called it off the night before, and never even showed up to night one because of that whole situation with her ex. She was supposed to get married, so it's just like I guess the producers maybe felt led on and they felt that she was going to do that again, where she was like, oh yeah, I'm down, and then just like miss her flight or never show up. So they tried to fly to her house to get her to go. And maybe this is punishment for leading her, for Sally being flaky, but like it's just so wrong to like frame this as her dildo when it's clearly not her vibrator, not a dildo.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. What do you think
Yeah,
about
it
it?
was it was too much for me, and it's just like there were so many holes in the story. And while I found the reenactment kind of fun, and Wells has teased that this season was gonna have more of the humor and the like more of the comedy than we've seen in a couple of the last seasons, there were just holes in the story. I'm like, no one's being left in a trunk for 4 hours in the blazing heat. Like, let's be honest. Do I think maybe there was a situation where she might have flaked out again? Sure. I just think the whole thing was very much embellished. The waffle iron being the gift from like all of the women that season, I'm like, first off, look like a tiny little waffle iron. And how many girls are in a season? Like 20 something? How much are we pitching in for a wedding present? Like 25 cents? Like it looked tiny. And then Genevieve saying, oh, this is the waffle iron we got her for her and her fiance. And then she's saying, well, I've never met her. So I'm like, well, why would you buy a waffle iron for someone you've never met? I had so many questions.
It was also just like unnecessary, I think. I think it was just unnecessary because even if this whole thing happened and they took Sally's suitcase, they didn't have to bring it to the bunk. They could have left it in the room, and they didn't need to make this whole thing and make the
Mm-hmm.
girls go through it. Like, and then I didn't think Wells' thing was funny at all. I thought it was so corny. I thought it was like trying to be SNL. Like, I thought it could have been a funny scene, and I think that whatever. Like, I liked the idea kind of, but it was like save it for something else. Like, what is this show? Now you're making a mockery of your own show, which already is the biggest mockery ever. It's been this corny Bachelor in Paradise. Like, now it's like, who can take this seriously? Like, for real.
Totally.
This whole show is
Yeah.
just such a joke. The whole show has become a joke. And it's even more of a joke that the trailer gives away everything.
Do you
Like,
think
fans are
Sally
getting
is going
pissed.
to come to the beach?
Yes. Well, let me say this one before. Fans are pissed. I've seen a lot of fans on Twitter who are pissed. They don't want to know spoilers, and they're getting all the spoilers from the trailer. So I'm just saying that like this show is just making itself. It's making it more go downhill. I know that Sally goes to the beach. She 100% will be there. I guess she probably won't show up tonight since we're having new guys come tonight, and then the girls come next week. And I mean, I don't know if I want to give away what's going to happen. But I think that you can kind of assume that Sally has a reputation of showing up places and leaving pretty freaking quickly. So we'll see her unless they edit her out, and I hope that she gets her suitcase back if that was really her suitcase.
I agree. I mean, grab your stuff and go, girl.
I think that she's also though like low key carrying the show, like while doing the absolute least. Like she is bringing so much drama and like main character energy for the second time in a row with like no, without even doing anything.
Her reputation precedes her. She gives us little nuggets that remain staples of every season she's ever been on, and she's not even here. We're seeing some fake hair and a waffle iron, and she's already was one of the main parts of this episode. She's the reason
She
we
got
didn't
so
see a
much
dinner
screen
portion
time.
between Victoria and Justin.
And she didn't even show up.
She's not even
She's
here.
so good. Sally for Bachelorette, honestly. Would you be down for that?
Would she even show up?
I don't I don't know. Honestly,
She would
I'm
flake
really here
out.
for-
She would leave. She would pull a Claire Crawley, but even faster.
She literally would show up to the promo shoots and then leave with like all the roses. She would like take the cake or the pizza and then just be like,
She'd be like, okay, we're out. We're done. She would lock someone in a trunk and say, I've thought it through. No, what would happen is if Sally was the Bachelorette, she would go to the promo shoot. She would pick up her first rose to take a photo. Her fiance would enter set. She would throw the rose over her shoulder and then she would leave. She'd roll her suitcase away and take it straight on their honeymoon.
Sally is a hoot. Well, I don't think that she's like with that guy anymore. Like I think that
You
story
never
still
know,
hasn't been cleared
Zach.
up.
You never know.
Well, I know they work at the same hospital, but she went to the Women Tell All for Clayton season to kind of talk about like the situation, and then it got cut out. It didn't make the episode. So I wonder if they're going to invite her to the Paradise Tell All, which will be in like a few weeks, and if she'll show up. It's just so strange, but she really is entertaining us. Everybody, give Sally a follow on Instagram. You never know what she's going to post next.
You seriously never know. She's been ghosting Bachelor Nation for years.
She's been ghosting a lot of people for a long time. But this drama that when she does show up is going to play out because she, had a connection with Justin at Stagecoach. But Genevieve is also trying to pursue Justin, and then Victoria F. and Justin went on a date. So Justin was just gone the whole time. Genevieve is spiraling, and Genevieve is also sharing that she's nervous if Sally shows up. Andrew's trying to console Genevieve, and Genevieve and Justin get into this big fight because she just doesn't feel chosen. So what do you think is happening here? Do we think that Genevieve just doesn't want to compete with these girls? Does she have a real reason to be mad at Justin? Was Justin rude?
I think it was one thing to go on the date, but I think then ideally, because this is such a fast process, go on a date with someone. But after, spending time, he's had a day with Genevieve. He went on this date with Victoria. I think he was trying to be a little bit more of a politician and say he really doesn't know. And I think what she was looking for was just like a a more honest of, and it's not even saying I'm going to propose to one of you, more so of I feel a more instant connection with Victoria. I'm going to go with her. Or, I just feel like you and I have more of a, foundation. So I'm going to tell Victoria to pursue other people. Like, I think Genevieve was just really trying to figure out where he was at.
But he didn't know.
And then,
But he didn't know yet.
Exactly. But it's like one of those hard processes. I don't know what the plural of process is. I'm really struggling here. It's one of those
Processing.
journeys. Well, no, that's not what I'm trying. That's a verb. Like, I'm trying. Okay.
They're on two.
He
they're on two
needs to
different
commit.
pages.
He needs to commit. He needs to just
But
tell her who he's going for. He needs to let her know where his head is at. And I don't know if he has the option when this is such a fast summer to
no,
play both
honestly,
sides
like,
for too much longer.
my opinion is the same as last time. Like, he does not have to choose her. It's been 2 days. But she also has every right to be like, I want a man to claim me, to want me, to not have to think about other girls. So they're just on two different pages. Like, no one is wrong and no one is, they're both right. They're both right. They're just not meant to be together. It's kind of like the Rachel and Avon thing. They were like, everything was aligned. Nothing seemed to go wrong, but they were just on two different pages.
Very true.
So let's talk about Romeo. I mean, this is ridiculous drama too. So he tries to talk to Brittany. You have to like help me break this down because I'm a little
I don't even know how to
confused.
explain Romeo. Like, Romeo went from episode 1, I feel like having good intentions, being articulate. We had the Jill and Kira kind of love triangle. He talked to both of them. He and Jill were friends. He wanted to see if there was more. He tells Kira, I'm interested in Jill, so I don't really want to do this. And Kira even questioned him, like, well, if you're that sure that you want to pursue Jill. So I was really proud of him in episode 1. It felt like he was being transparent and was trying to be there for the right reasons. And then Romeo, episode 2, just gave me such like F-boy vibes. I don't know. He's saying that he doesn't know if he wants to commit to Jill all the way now, which is fine. But then he's pulling Brittany, and then he tried to kiss Brittany. I'm like, it's just too much. And Brittany's like handling it like pro, because she's obviously friends with everyone and doesn't just want to, go with it. But oof, it was a little awkward conversation, if I'm being honest.
Wait, so did was Romeo actually trying to pursue Brittany and then she wasn't down, or did she want to talk to him?
I don't know.
You don't
I
even
don't know
know.
where Brittany's head is
Okay.
at, but it's also like, it's hard because I think Brittany is also trying to be a girl's girl.
Yeah, but I also think that like it's early, and I don't know who else Brittany is vibing with. So, and
That's
she didn't.
true.
She wasn't even on the same season as Jill and Kira, so it's not like she knows them. So if she wants to pursue Romeo and get to know him, like she has every right to do that. But I also don't. I feel like I understand why Jill was upset because like they just went through the drama with Kira, and he made it clear that he wanted to choose Jill. So how does that change in a day? Now all of a sudden you
I
want
agree.
to pursue Brittany? So I think that Romeo is just playing the field too much, and he's enjoying this because, well, he has a rose, so he has options. But, I don't know how it's going to go for him next week. And they ended up having like a big fight. And I loved how Jill was just like, get away from me right now. And he wouldn't leave her. He just kept following her to the bunk.
No, absolutely. Jill is, I mean, talk about people who are like become stars this season. Not only Haley, but Jill. Jill's someone we didn't see a ton of and is just kind of becoming like one of the main characters so far this season.
She's getting a lot of airtime. And she's giving a lot. She's giving like drama. She's giving sass. She seems to be like in the center of everything. Is she cracking you up? Like, because I feel like a lot of people are getting a kick out of her like sarcasm.
Yes, her sarcasm is fun. Her intro package with her stuffed cat was kind of odd, but her on the beach is giving some humor. I'm liking her on the beach. Can we also talk about how, just looking at this photo here, we have a lot of the upside down bikini tops this season. Girls are wearing
Yeah.
the strap that usually goes around your ribs on top, and then they're wearing the top strap on the bottom. And everyone's doing it. Is this a trend, Zachary? Am I out of touch? What are the youths doing?
The youths. I'm honestly unaware of what the girls' bikinis are. I'm just staring at the guys' abs every week. So I don't know. But I'm
if someone
gonna
knows
take a
I'm talking
look at
about,
that.
comment it. Yeah. Please let me
Comment
know
it.
in the
And we're gonna
comments
open up
because I
our,
can't be the only one.
we're gonna open up our live chat. So if you guys have any predictions, questions, anything you want us to talk about, definitely leave it in the live chat. I'm gonna take a look at Jill tonight. I'm gonna like watch her. I feel like I've been like on Twitter live for like most of the episodes, so it's like I'm not even paying attention to like every sentence or word. So tonight I'm gonna make sure to like hear her jokes because I saw that a lot of people thought she was funny, but for me, my MVP of the episode was Haley. Oh, she's so funny. And then Sally was my second MVP. And then I guess Shanae and Logan. Those were my favorites, I think, for the episode. Who were yours?
I mean, oh, I'm like trying to look over my notes here. Victoria F, just with her entrance, like she is just holding her own. I'm excited to see
She's
where
so
she
graceful.
goes. I think she's just gonna call it like it is, do Victoria F, like figure out whatever she wants to do. Kira, I'm kind of getting a little tired of Kira. Honestly, I didn't love
Okay.
when Genevieve was already kind of upset with, Justin and Victoria going off on their date. Kira's said something, I wrote it down. She was saying something like, oh, are you worried that Sally and Justin are going to hit it off? Because I went to Stagecoach with them and they were all over each other. And I'm like, you can clearly see that Genevieve's already upset by the threat of Victoria F. Why are you bringing Sally into this conversation when she's not even here yet? It just kind of felt like an undercutting comment and a way to just add more doubt. So I didn't love that. I mean, I think Romeo's going to give us
Well,
some
we have
good TV, but yeah, I don't know.
we have to talk about this a little bit more with Kira and Justin because they started like going at it on Twitter, and I kind of think that when things are brought up, it's because of the producers, right? Like Sally, all of a sudden Sally's name is getting brought up, and they're like, oh, Shanae's probably coming. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if the producers are like telling Kira, like, you might want to bring up Sally. Like, they're probably encouraging everyone to bring up Sally, but I guess it truly is like, do you take the bait? Do you have to listen to the producers? Or do you not? Because clearly no one forces you to say anything, right? But I also think
Yeah.
that, there is this behind the scenes show happening where a lot of contestants, especially like early eliminees who don't get as much airtime, they almost feel the pressure to kind of suck up to the producers more because they don't have as much leeway. If you don't have followers, you know what I mean? The producers favor the people with the most followers and who've made it the longest because those are the people who are going to promote their show. So someone like Kira, someone like Haley, someone like Sally, like they don't have as much to lose, right? They can, or the opposite of what I'm saying, like whatever. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, they're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to make a statement. But I also think part of it comes out of insecurity if you don't feel like you have that connection. The reason that we're not seeing a ton of Serene and Brandon is because they're very content and they're probably just doing things on the side. There was a lot of moments that got cut of Becca and Thomas, little birthday party moments and stuff that they prepared for each other because it
Abigail and
wasn't
Noah.
dramatic. They were just happy and content with each other. Exactly. And so it's like we're seeing probably not only people who feel like they have something to prove or have a lot to gain from being on the producers' good sides, they're scrambling because they don't have the connection that these other women are having. They don't feel secure in their rows. So what are they supposed to do other than like make kind of
Sit around and
messy
just,
decisions?
yeah. If you know you're going home in 3 days, you got to do something. But Kira was also at Stagecoach, and she was with Sally. Like, they're pretty good friends. So Sally and Justin, who apparently were like hooking up at Stagecoach, Justin got mad at Kira for saying that on Twitter. He called her out and was like, I didn't even know you were there. And then Kira clapped back, and she was like, well, maybe you should get some glasses and a better attitude because we saw each other like 5 times. And then
Oh,
Justin was like
wow.
basically saying that he didn't remember it. He didn't remember seeing Kira, and then Kira ended up posting a picture of Stagecoach with them in it together, which is on her Twitter. So this has been playing out the past couple of hours. They responded back and forth to each other, but DABU says more importantly what happened at Stagecoach. So what happened at Stagecoach is that Sally and Justin did hook up. I mean, I think that Genevieve even said that on the show last night that they were all over each other.
Yeah, I think that was Kira who told Genevieve. She's like, well, are you afraid when Sally's going to show up? Because I was at Stagecoach with Sally and Justin. They were all over each other.
Oh.
So,
So Kira told Genevieve, and then Genevieve told everyone else because Genevieve wasn't at Stagecoach.
yeah, it was just like their conversation on the beach. But what I didn't love about Kira bringing that up is because it was during Justin and Victoria's date, I believe. So Genevieve's already insecure about Victoria snagging him. And then Kira, it kind of just
Gotcha.
felt like a mean girl move to be like, well, and not only Victoria F, but Sally's on her way. And they were just all over each other. Are you nervous about that?
Gotcha.
Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, I feel like we're getting all sides of the equation here. Because, like I said, I'm on Twitter. So that's where I'm getting like a lot of my tea. And then Allison's paying attention to the whole episode. Um, Deb says Romeo pulled Brittany. See, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. I thought he pulled Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
And then she basically just told Jill and was like, friends, I don't want Romeo.
Totally.
Right? She
Yeah.
didn't entertain
She was
him.
not as into she was not into Romeo, and Romeo in that way, like I said earlier in the live, like just gave me these F boy vibes because Brittany was again trying to be respectful of the whole process, and his interest in Brittany didn't seem super genuine to me. It kind of felt like a scramble, which is ironic because I'm like, Romeo, you have the power in this situation. You know, guys have the roses. We don't need to be doing this, but who knows?
Yeah. Romeo's being messy, but he seems to be having a good time
Mm-hmm.
with it on Twitter. I want to talk about the rose ceremony, which hasn't happened yet. Oh, there you go. Sassy in Chicago. She's got you.
Thank you, Sassy in Chicago. Yes, the bottom, the because you got to show the underboob a little bit. I guess is like the new trend. I got to get on this. I guess I'm just not hip
Or
and ready to go on the beach.
unless it's something to do with like your microphone, like maybe they have to keep it super tight so the microphone on the back of you your
No, because it's the
has to
same
stay.
kind of
No?
strings. It's literally just to show the underboob is a big thing happening in life
Gotcha.
currently.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. Um, no, Kira was not making up the story. They totally hooked up at Stagecoach. Um, so the rose ceremony is about to happen next week, right? So this is what I think is gonna happen.
Well,
I think Michael A is
tonight,
probably gonna
right?
give it to Sierra. Oh yeah, tonight. I think Michael A
Tonight.
is probably gonna give it to Sierra, Brandon to Serene, Andrew to Teddy, Logan to Shanae. Johnny could give it to Hunter or maybe Victoria F, since we saw them in the trailer kissing. And then Justin could give it to Genevieve or Victoria F. Or maybe if Sally shows up last minute before the rose ceremony, kind of like Becca Kufrin did. Um, Romeo could give it to Jill, maybe Brittany, maybe Kira. Casey could give it to Kira, Jill, Brittany, or Lace. And then Jacob could give it to Kira, Jill, Brittany, Lace, or maybe even Shanae. So the three wild cards are like Romeo, Casey, and Jacob, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think Casey and Lace would be an interesting duo. I don't know if they'll see something in each other, but I just feel like they're both older, and I just feel like they might actually be complementary uh, people to each other. Because Kira and Casey, they kind of were not on the same page. Kira clearly was saying like her love language is like the boom boom room, and Casey's like, well, mine's tacos. So that I don't think that's gonna
Oh my
necessarily
god.
be a great
Yeah,
relationship.
that's not gonna work. But then Casey will probably give his rose to Brittany or Lace. And then I think
Mm-hmm.
Jacob will probably give it to maybe I think he was talking to Jill at some point, or maybe it was in the trailer they were kissing, but
Yeah.
he could also give it to Lace
Mm-hmm.
or Jill,
I don't know. I
Kira,
don't know if I see
Brittany.
Jacob and Lace. Yeah.
I don't know. And then there's of course if only Haley could get with Jacob. I feel like they could be a match.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, if she wasn't so hung up on Logan.
Yeah, she's hung up on Logan, who's clearly into Shanae, I would say, out of
Mm-hmm.
everybody. That's who he's kind of chose to spend time with after talking to some of the girls. I mean, if only these girls watched Gabby and Rachel's season, but I don't think they saw all of it yet. They didn't see any
Yeah,
of it.
no, they
It
didn't.
aired after they got
Mm-mm.
back. So they had no idea
Yeah.
what happened. So a lot of these guys are just wild cards. They don't even realize that Johnny had like a week and a half off or like 2 days off for all we know. He stayed in Mexico.
Yeah. He just walked down the
We
beach.
want to He just walked down the beach. What is Jody N saying?
Jody N said Romeo fake crying at the beach? No. Ooh, so Jody is saying that Romeo's tears were not genuine. Yeah, I think Romeo's just scrambling. I don't know. And then D Mix is saying he's not fake crying, he's trying to be manipulative. Okay, so using the tears to maybe elicit responses out of the women. I don't know. It's either way, whether it's fake, whether it's for in order to manipulate people, it's not good vibes. It feels a little slimy, especially to be pulling this so early. And again, you have the roses. So like you have the control, Romeo. Give your rose to someone and see if they accept. I don't know why we're trying to manipulate with tears when it's not even a week where you should be feeling insecure.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with Romeo. I'm really confused. I don't think he knows what he wants. And I think that it's just not going to go well for him the rest of the time he's there, or even at the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Sassy in Chicago says, "Oh, Jacob to Jill." Yeah, that could be because if Jill is kind of done with Romeo from what we saw, she could always kind of maybe use him to get a rose and then move on next and then dump him next week. But she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to be with Romeo. Like he is indecisive. Can't make up his mind. Jill is looking for someone a little bit more stable that's gonna pick her.
Totally.
I mean, like I
I'm
think we got
intrigued. I'm
all the
very
drama
excited.
down.
Yeah.
Teddy and
I
Andrew
think
we could talk
tonight's going to be
about. They
very
didn't get
telling.
well. We're gonna get a rose ceremony.
I know. It's going to be
That
dynamic.
that's when everyone kind of shares who they're really into, and then new people are gonna come in. I guess we all saw in the trailer that Rodney is gonna show up, Aaron and James. So I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. Like those are three awesome guys who we all love from the
Mm-hmm.
past.
Totally.
So it should
Yeah,
be a
no,
pretty
it's going
good
to be interesting
episode.
to see who they all match up with too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there was that whole thing with Aaron and Genevieve before the show, and it looks like James is taking
Mm-hmm.
Shanae on a date. So of course that's gonna happen. That's gonna be a fun double date to watch. And then Rodney, who knows who he'll be into. It seems like from that trailer that all the girls were interested in getting to know Rodney. So I don't know. And then Ashley and Jared are also gonna show up tonight to give everybody advice. Do you remember them?
Oh, yes, absolutely. They are Bachelor in Paradise loves to, bring out the couples that are the success story and like remind not only the people on the beach, but the people at home watching that this process does work, that you can get married, that you can have babies. So it makes sense to me that they're bringing them back.
Yeah, it should be a great episode, and it's only a few hours away, depending on your time zone. So definitely let us know your thoughts in the comments below of what you thought about this episode, and we will be back to talk about next week's episode. So feel free to check us out on our socials at Zachary Reality and at Allison Van Dam, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, and yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.